Do you want to know how to manage multiple trucks or when you should launch your second truck? Keep watching. All right, guys, by now you know I have a Discord channel. I am in there 24/7. A lot of my free resources in there, pricing sheets, services I use, software I use, all kinds of my resources are in the Discord for free. Check the description below the video, has all of my links so you can check my Discord channel, all that stuff. I have launched an amazing course. It is jam-packed with content. It goes through everything about building a junk removal business, from the foundation, the legal, the employees, the systems, the trucks, the tools, the pricing, the marketing, the SEO, building a website, running your own Google Ads campaigns if you don't want to hire somebody. I mean, it's just insane how much content is in this course. So guys, if you want to check out the course and you want your A to Z on how to build a junk removal business, check it out in the link below. What up, guys? My name's Andrew. I'm a serial entrepreneur, software engineer, and a junk removal business owner. I started a junk removal business as a stepping stone to return to my passion of technology and apps. I invite you guys to stick around, hang out, follow me on my journey from becoming a junk removal business titan to building a billion-dollar home services app. And that is true. All right, guys, this video is for the people out there who are ready to launch their second truck. Or maybe they want to know when they should and they're not ready, but they still kind of you want to look into it. When do you think you should launch your second truck? Before we jump into that though, guys, let's talk about my second truck. I gotta think back. Wow, I launched the second truck July of last year. I attempted to launch it in April when I was still living in Ventura County. This was one of the hardest decisions that I've ever had to make, because if you've seen my original content, the Ventura truck was doing really good, right? I started in September of 2021, and I think April was when I bought the second truck, March or April. So relatively soon, but here's the thing, guys. I pulled out, which was, I think it's called an MCA loan, a shark loan, a very high interest loan that was the only loan that I can get approved for. $1,000 of weekly payments on this truck. And it was only a, I think $50,000, $55,000 used Isuzu that I bought at the time. Immediately, I took it to the shop and they're like, there's $5,000 of things to repair, how to pay that in cash. I don't remember how much I put down. I want to say I put somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 down. I think I financed 30 to 35, something like that. Anyways, I put a decent chunk down and just financed through an MCA loan, and it was a horrible deal, guys. But I was so certain. Because the Ventura truck, I was 40, 50 grand a month. I was still on phones. The profits were higher. I had my 2 employees. Sometimes I'd have to jump in the truck and help, but the profits were phenomenal, right? Because I was still very much involved in the business, so the margins are higher. I decided to pull the trigger, and I do not recommend that you guys do this, but things were going so well. My Ventura truck is profiting 10, 15 grand a month. So I was like, if I get a second truck and launch it in LA, I was happy to break even on the second truck after labor, expenses, insurance. I was like, all I have to do is make 4 grand to make this truck worth it, because the loan will be paid off in 8 months. That was the plan. And that's what happened. So I took a huge gamble, because I was like, you know, there's way more people in LA than there is in Ventura County. The population of Ventura County is 900,000 or something like that. LA County is 11 million or 10 million or something like that. But LA is like 4 or 5 million if you just take the Los Angeles city. And I mean, the population was much bigger, and I knew that this first truck was running fine. So I was like, hey, I need to launch the second truck. I think I got it running for the first month. Before we moved to LA in July, I would get a second crew. They would go all the way to LA and then all the way back. The thing was a gas guzzler. So ultimately I ended up having to fire 4 guys at the same time. I lost 4 guys. So I lost both trucks at once. I was donezo. Both trucks stopped running. So I had to pull the LA truck back. And I was like, this is just too much. I'm going to get this original Ventura truck running. And I had to move to LA ASAP because I was making a $4,000 payment on the second truck. Now, the point of the story, guys, is I gambled. That was straight gambling for my second truck. I pulled out a shark loan. The interest was, I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't even remember the interest. It was as high as it could possibly ever be. My goal was to get to LA as soon as possible so I can launch this second truck because I was burning $4,000 a month. And I think we ended up using that truck. We got some big jobs. We were making it worth it. I was scaling the ads in Ventura County, so the truck wasn't just sitting 24/7. I was trying to make as much money as possible, get our asses to LA, and launch the second truck. And that is what happened, guys. That is what we did. And here I am now. Now, I'm not saying you should gamble and go get a cash advance MCA loan or whatever it's called. So I launched the second truck because I was confident the first truck was running, but my Google search volume was maxed out in Ventura County. So the only way to get another truck in Ventura County running was to get more leads alternative ways, because I was getting as much as I possibly could from Google. My budget was hitting the ceiling. Google said limited by search volume, and that was keeping that truck busy 24/7, 7 days a week crew and a weekend crew. So I couldn't get another truck in Ventura County, but I sure as hell can get a few down in LA. And that was when I made the decision to pull the trigger on the second truck. And yes, I was very nervous. I was worried. I was like, okay, I think I could just do the same shit, run the ads and get some employees and tell the employees it's gonna be good, it's gonna be okay. You know, you gotta convince them like it should be full-time. And it was really nerve-wracking launching a second truck. And here's the thing, guys, I forgot to mention this. In my mind, I was off the truck. That is the completely inappropriate thing to do. I should have got back on the truck for that month, but I was already out. Like, I've already been off the truck now, and I was like, I don't want to get back on the truck. In my mind, the first 6 months, I paid my dues. I had shit spill all over me, literally maggot shit from a meth house with shit inside of a fridge, and it spilled all over me, almost threw up. In my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this work. And it was nerve-wracking. I didn't have that much cash set aside, so it was kind of another gamble that I took. It ended up working out, but I don't recommend it. If you launch a second truck, guys, you should be the one on the second truck until the ads kick in and things start smooth rolling and you're like, okay, I can step off, get another employee and let it go. But that is how I started my second truck, guys. It was intense. So what we're gonna talk about is when you decide to do a second truck, how I manage multiple trucks, and how I would manage more trucks if I can get finance for another one, but I'm not doing any more cash advances. I think MCA, it's like a cash loan, high interest, and you have to pay it over the course of like 8 months daily or weekly. No more of that. No more used trucks. I've had way too much bad luck with these trucks, and I have employees who depend on me. Both of the trucks that I bought ended up in the shop, and I was sick of paying all of these repairs that I sold one of the dump trucks. The one right now, I just spent $6 grand last week, $6 grand last month, 12 grand just in the last 2 months. When I first bought it, put in 5 grand. So in cash, I'm already 17,000 minimum in repairs. And I've had this truck for, I don't know, 8 months. So no more used trucks. I'm gonna wait until I can finance and get approved to get my third location. When should you launch your second truck? It should be pretty obvious. You should have one truck that's busy and overflow. You should have enough business before you even remotely ever thinking about getting a second truck, guys. I would not suggest touching a second truck until you're overflown in your current city and you actually have the capability to scale your ads and get more leads to give you enough volume for the next truck. Now, if your ads are maxed out and that truck is at maximum capacity and you can't send any more leads, and the only way to get more leads would be through contracts and in-person sales, and your Google ads are peaked out in your city, you have one other option, and that is, do I launch another truck in the next big city? And that is what I did, and that's a decision you gotta make. That's just the name of the game in this business. When you max out one truck in the Google search volume area that you're in, and it's running and it's making you money and it's doing good, and you can't overflow it with more leads because there's just not enough leads from Google or Yelp or Facebook or whatever, and you've peaked out that city, you got to go to another city. And if this truck is running smooth and you like the junk removal business, my answer is try to do a second truck. Get a second truck and get rocking and rolling. Let's get into managing the trucks and how I manage multiple trucks and how I recommend you guys manage multiple trucks. These are the tools and the things that I do to have them run smoothly, besides when they're used and breaking down on me. The number one thing that my dispatch cannot live without is my GPS trackers, which I use Force by Mogio. Force by Mogio is awesome. It plugs into House Call Pro, great. I have switched over to Workies and it doesn't connect, but the Force dashboard is just another tab, and Force dashboard is incredible. It shows me the DTC error codes, how they're driving. It shows me where they are at all times. I have truck number 1, truck number 2, and then the operations manager's truck, and I just have my personal truck in there just cause. Why it's so important, and this is crazy, guys. There's countless things besides it showing you how they're driving, how fast they're driving. These are live real-time updates that my dispatch need. It shows the timeline history, how long they're parked, how long the truck's been on, how long the truck's been off, how long it's been idling, the speed, the braking, everything. But the history is so incredible because I have caught one of my guys going to the bar. They just vanished for a minute. This was a long time ago with one of my old employees, but they cruised by a bar. And he was trying to tell me some story, but I pulled up the history and I saw where he was parked. I saw the distance. I saw what was nearby. It was really late at night. I also found an old employee sleeping in the truck. How did I find that out? When I checked the next day, I checked the history of the truck and saw that it was parked in a parking lot, and then he drove it back to the job site. It's wild, guys. But guys, the most important thing besides being able to see all of that incredible data is when you have 2 trucks running full time and you have leads coming in, your dispatch is going to be on the phone booking calls into Workies or House Call Pro or my app dispatch. Your crew is going to be going from job to job to job. The second truck is going to be going job to job to job. And guess what happens? You're going to just naturally, you will always be late. You will never be on time. You're going to get cancellations and reschedules. When somebody calls in and says, "Where's the crew?" and your crew doesn't respond right away, your dispatch has the ability to go into the software in real time, see how long they've been parked at a customer's house, and give kind of an idea to the customer who's calling. Be like, okay, I know exactly where they're at. They have some information of where the crew is at. We couldn't run the business without Force. You'd be flying blind. It's only like 20 bucks a device, guys. I live by this software. It is the second most important software I have outside of the booking software. So booking and then tracking, right? It is imperative that you have trackers. Even if you have one truck with one employee, put a Force tracker in it. Promise you, it will change your life. It makes it possible for dispatch to do dispatch, okay? Second, we obviously need to talk about field service management tools. You're gonna be using my software, okay? Q1 of next year. If you guys are interested in my software, comment in the video, say, "Andrew, I can't wait to try dispatch. I can't wait. Please get me hyped up. I'm super excited." But guys, back to the topic really quick. FSM, field service management tool. You have to use one. House Call Pro, Workies, Jobber. Honestly, I don't care which one right now because this video is not for that. If you want my opinion on the best one, I think I've got one video right here on FSMs, but your dispatch needs an FSM to book jobs so that it gets sent to a technician and then dispatch can see where they're at and know what's going on using the Force tracker. So that's number 2, guys, FSM. Number 3, Telegram. Telegram has been the best communication tool for my team, bar none, the end. I have groups set up for my dispatch for each crew, for the week crew, the weekend crew, for each truck. Telegram is the best chat application. It is better than WhatsApp. It is better than Slack. It is the easiest and best cross-platform, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, desktop, web, all of it. It makes it possible for dispatch and employees and me and all of us to communicate instantaneously, to pass along pertinent information. It is a must. I couldn't live without Telegram. I do not know how we would run our business without these 3 tools. Without an FSM, without Force, and without Telegram, we wouldn't be as efficient as we are. Those are the 3 pieces of software that are absolute musts. The next piece of software that I recently started using, which is also incredible, it is called Whip Around. It gives my employees the ability to do check-in and check-out at the end of the day. In the morning, I have them go through the check-in. It logs the odometer. It shows, they take a picture so I know their shirt is on. It asks them safety protocol, truck protocol, checks the tool protocol, check. It is a very efficient tool for making custom checklists that you need your guys to go through before they can start the day. And at the end of the day, they do an end of day checklist. How much money, how much tips, how much stuff is left in the truck. It lets the next crew who comes in know if they need to be dumped, or I know if it needs to be dumped. We all know the volume at the truck at the end of the day. So if that crew is ending their week, we can tell the weekend crew if they have to dump in the morning. It's just automatic. Like, we don't have to worry about asking anybody if we forget. Whip Around is an incredible piece of software that you could force your employees to check in at the end of the day, and you could put anything you want on these checklists Whip Around is not that expensive either, and it has been very valuable. Definitely a recommended piece of software that you guys should get. Even just one truck, it's worth it because peace of mind, check-in, safety protocol, check out at the end of the day. You can just ask them a list of questions that you need to know, and it just kind of runs itself, guys. So check out Whip Around as well. Number 5, guys. Number 5 is time tracking and payroll. I don't use the built-in time tracking in any of the FSMs. I don't use like some dinky little app. I use Homebase. Homebase is incredible. Everybody clocks in, it logs their hours, and it goes straight to payroll. Even if you're not using the payroll services yet, this is the most sophisticated time clocking, time tracking app there is. GPS is built into it, so it forces the employees to use GPS, so they have to use GPS when they clock in and clock out. So if you're not near your trucks, you know where they're clocking in, you know where they're clocking out. It's the best time tracking software, guys. Homebase, that is number 5 must have. So the last and 6th item is inventory tracking for each crew. You can do paper inventory tracking. Whip Around is not the best solution. It's more pertained to the driver and the asset, the vehicle. Questions related to that, you'll see when you check out Whip Around. But as far as inventory tracking, guys, right now we're just doing it through Telegram. So at the end of the day, they take a photo of each important item so that I know it hasn't been lost. And inventory tracking is something you should also do because I have iPads in the car, expensive credit card machines. We're constantly losing tools. We had paper inventory tracking, but I started needing proof of these tools because we were losing them too often. We have inventory tracking group inside of Telegram, a group for Ventura and Los Angeles, and we do inventory tracking. So those are the 6 things that you kind of want to get those routines down and those pieces of software hardwired and built into your crews and into your systems, and it will just make each truck go so smooth. Like I could launch a 3rd truck like that. The systems and processes are done. I don't have to do anything. It just runs itself. That is how I run my trucks. I hope that information helped you. Even if you have 1 truck, I recommend all of this. If you have employees, and if you don't have employees, I still recommend you use most of this. Start getting your systems in place now. It'll make things more efficient. And if you have any questions regarding the software that I use to manage the trucks, or any questions about launching a 2nd truck, or anything about multiple trucks at all, I know I only have 2 trucks running, but I'm pretty confident in my systems, how efficient and how automated my 2 trucks are. I wish I could just snap my fingers and get another $100,000 dump truck right now. Got to work on some credit. But I'm actually about to hit my 2nd year in business with operating history with strong financial statements. So I'm really excited to see if I can get a business loan, but that's for another video. I'll save that. I'll let you guys know what happens. As always, I leave you with this. Success is often covered in dirt, but so is gold at one point. Toodles!